Your dog may not speak your language, but they're talking to you all the time. With a glance, a tilt of the head, a sudden sneeze in the middle of playtime. To us, these little quirks might seem random, even funny. But to your dog, every single gesture has a meaning deeply rooted in instinct, emotion, and a bond that goes back thousands of years. Dogs have their own silent language. And once you start listening, truly listening, you begin to see the world through their eyes. In this video, we're decoding that hidden language, from the everyday habits you've seen 100 times, to the small, quiet signs you might have missed entirely. Some of them will warm your heart, some will leave you stunned, and a few might just change the way you love your dog forever. Let's start with something simple. A sneeze. Not the kind that comes from dust or pollen, but the kind your dog lets out when they're wagging their tail and full of excitement. Because sometimes that tiny puff of air is their way of saying, I'm happy, I feel safe, I love this moment with you. Then there's that moment so small, yet so captivating when your dog tilts their head. You could be speaking, humming, or making an odd noise, and suddenly their head shifts to the side, eyes wide and locked on you. It melts our hearts every time. But to your dog, that head tilt isn't just for show. It's a finely tuned response. Maybe they're angling their ears to pinpoint a sound more clearly, trying to make sense of your voice, or compensating for their long snout that blocks their view. It's curiosity, yes, but also intelligence. It's how they engage with you, showing they're not just hearing noise, but trying to understand. In that instant, when they're frozen in concentration, it's like a little window opens between your world and theirs. A connection built not on language, but on attention, love, and the deep, quiet bond that only a dog and their person share. There's also the yawn. You might think it's just a sign that your dog is tired, but often, it's something more. Something deeper. A quiet whisper of emotion. Dogs don't only yawn when they're sleepy, they do it when they're feeling stressed, confused, or when they're trying to soothe themselves. But it doesn't end there. Sometimes they yawn to comfort you. That soft stretch of the jaw, the deep breath in, it's not just biological. It's emotional. It's their way of saying, hey, I see you. I'm here with you. Even more fascinating, scientific studies have revealed something truly heartwarming. Dogs can actually catch yawns from the people they are most emotionally connected to, just like humans do with each other. If you've ever yawned and noticed your dog doing the same shortly after, it wasn't a fluke. It wasn't just mimicry. That mirrored yawn is a reflection of your bond's subtle, shared rhythm of emotion. Researchers believe this behavior is rooted in empathy. It means your dog is not just observing your actions, but emotionally sensing with you. They're feeling what you feel. They're emotionally attuned to your state of mind. That simple yawn, passed silently between you, becomes a quiet moment of emotional unity. A shared signal that says, I feel what you feel. Think about it, your dog, who can't speak your language, who navigates the world through smell and instinct, still finds a way to tell you, I'm here. I understand. That yawn is more than just a reflex. It's a moment of mutual vulnerability and connection. It's an unspoken agreement that in that space, in that breath, you are not alone, and neither are they. It's such a small thing, so easy to miss. But that yawn? It's a thread in the tapestry of your bond. A reminder that love doesn't always shout. Sometimes it breathes softly between two hearts that understand each other, even without words. And then there's that paw. Out of nowhere, your dog places it gently on your leg. Not demanding, not loud. Just there. At first glance, it might seem like a small, sweet habit or random gesture with no real purpose. But it's one of the most intimate expressions in your dog's silent language. That paw is filled with meaning. It could be a simple call for affection, pet me, please. Or it might be curiosity, your dog quietly asking, are you okay? Can we share a moment? But often, it's deeper than that. When thunder cracks, when fireworks explode, or even when the energy in the room shifts, your dog senses it. And instead of hiding, they reach out. That gentle paw on your leg is a lifeline. A way of saying, I don't need you to fix this, I just need you near. It's not about protection. It's about presence. In their world, closeness is comfort. And in that small, wordless moment, they're telling you they trust you more than anyone else in the world. If you stop and place your hand gently over their paw, something powerful happens. That brief contact becomes a quiet promise. I'm here too. You're not just touching their paw, you're holding their heart. You're telling them, without saying a word, that this bond, this trust is mutual. And that changes everything. But not every behavior is so sweet to us. Take, for example, that odd moment when your dog licks another dog's pee. To humans, it's pretty gross. But to your dog, it's information. With a single lick, they can learn things we never could about age, health, mood, gender. It's their way of decoding the world. A biological tool passed down through time, guiding them through social situations we don't even notice. You might flinch, but to them, it's instinct. A strange, useful instinct. Destruction, on the other hand, hits differently. It feels like a betrayal, doesn't it? You leave for a bit, maybe to run errands, grab dinner, or just step out for fresh air and come home to a disaster zone. Torn pillows, mangled slippers, couch cushions ripped apart like they were nothing. It's easy to feel frustrated, maybe even hurt. But here's the truth, your dog isn't trying to punish you. They're not mad or misbehaving just to spite you. What you're seeing is the physical manifestation of emotional chaos. They miss you. They don't understand where you've gone or why you're not there. That gnawing on the armrest? It's not just boredom, it's anxiety. That shredded newspaper? It's loneliness erupting in the only way they know how. Sometimes it's excess energy they don't know what to do with, and sometimes it's panic. But behind the mess is a hard unraveling in your absence. A soul that's crying out for you the only way it knows how. They're not trying to destroy your things, they're trying to cope. And in a strange, heartbreaking way, every bit of destruction is actually a love letter. A messy, desperate one. One that says, I miss you more than I can bear. And what about those moments when your dog suddenly shakes their entire body, even though they're completely dry? At first glance, it might seem like a random, almost comical twitch, like a little glitch in the system. But it's far from random. That full body shake is actually an important behavior, deeply rooted in how dogs manage their emotions and physical state. Think of it as a kind of reset button. When your dog shakes, they're clearing away built-up tension or stress, physically and mentally. It's a way for them to transition smoothly from one state of mind to another, maybe from intense playtime back to calm, or from feeling anxious to regaining composure. Dogs often shake off after waking up from a nap, after a burst of energetic play, or even following a stressful moment. It's their way of saying, I'm ready to move on now, shaking off the residue of whatever just happened, much like how we might take a deep breath to reset ourselves. However, if you notice your dog shaking excessively or frequently, it might signal something more serious. When this behavior comes paired with other signs like persistent scratching, unusual head tilting, or signs of discomfort, it could indicate pain, irritation, or an infection. That seemingly innocent shake could actually be your dog's subtle, quiet cry for help. Understanding this behavior means you're tuned into your dog's well-being. You see beyond the surface and recognize when a simple shake is more than just a shake, it's a message. A message that your dog needs your attention, care, and maybe even a visit to the vet. So next time your dog does their signature shake, take a moment to look deeper. It's their way of communicating something important, even when they can't use words. So the next time your dog sneezes in joy, tilts their head with wonder, yawns beside you, or lays a paw on your leg, don't brush it off. Look again. There's meaning in those small things. There's trust, emotion, instinct, maybe even love. Because dogs don't need words to speak. They just need you to listen with your heart.